Welcome back to Sunrise. Well, Mr. Sifo, you heard Mr. Paul saying that he has spoken to you and your colleagues to go in there and get yourself sworn in that nothing, there's no shackle, no impediment whatsoever. Why haven't you gone?
Yeah,
Did he speak to you about that first of all?
First, I want to salute him. You know, he said he's my friend. He's more than a friend. He's a brother. But I also sympathize with him because one is a lawyer. Two, just like he clearly stated, he was in the house, this same house, for 8 years. I think the point is not whether he spoke to me or not. Of course he did. And of course he told me, just go there. But the point should be, why are you in politics? You want to serve the public. The point should be, what are you bringing in? Integrity, or you just want to be like the others? I don't want to be counted as one of those who, when you are writing the history of this nation, there certainly will be 2 pages, I can imagine. One for the good guys. When I mean guys, it's generic, female inclusive, and though the second one, you know, for those who do not mean well by reason of what they put forward. Power is good, fine. But if you can't use it to advance the cause of the people, those you say you are coming to serve, why will you be there? I and the other 13 colleagues, I can liken us to, again, hinging my conclusion on the basis of what we heard from the governor. I can liken us to what Rotimi, you know, a fine writer, said in the book of Ram and Ogbaisi. And I quote him, if a provoked houseboy cannot match his wicked master, strength for strength, he maims his master's favorite goat. Finally put, and also distinguishing it, you will find that he has said it. The reason why he orchestrated what happened, that clandestine move that he did to inaugurate...
Who orchestrated?
The governor.
Sorry, who is the master? Who is the houseboy here?
Well, finally put, I mean, if you look at or listen to what he said, he was accusing his boss. He said one man came from Abuja to change the narrative. Who changed the narrative? Was it really that one man? No, it was the law.
Yeah, but why hasn't your group, yourself inclusive, gone, present yourself, and be sworn in?
Now, let me tell you, sir, and I have said it several times, and I'm going to say it again. The reason, first, is my conviction. My conviction is that I cannot use another wrongdoings to settle one wrongdoing. It doesn't make sense.
What's the wrongdoing? 2
wrongs cannot make a right, okay? It is trite in our general daily life. Now, what is the wrongdoing? The wrongdoing was that at about 9:30 of June 17th, 10 days after the lifespan of the 6th Assembly had elapsed, we woke up to see that an inauguration was done at night. Who does that? Secondly, it runs contrary to all known laws, whether the rules of the House or even the Constitution and the general laws of any society. Although when we talk about law, there is a point they always want to come into. They say you are preaching morality.
I'm sorry, I need to come here, but so in other words, you're suggesting that there has to be a condition precedent before yourself and your group present yourself to be sworn in?
Absolutely.
What will that?
Because
what is that?
The condition precedent, you see, when I listen to the governor, he said, yes, I have done my bit. The Constitution in section 105 sub 3 asks me to just issue...
What should that condition be? What should that condition be? What would that...
The condition is simple. 1, respect the law that says that the 24 of us in section 90 of the Constitution, it says a house shall consist of not less than 24 and not more than 40. Now, if a proclamation is issued by the governor, as dictated by the Constitution, it goes to a second person who is the clerk of the house, and that's exactly what my brother was referring to. The clerk of the house makes the announcement and invite those who are to benefit from the process of that proclamation, which signals the beginning of the inauguration. We were to be inaugurated. We were not invited. And since we were not invited, I say, and the other 13 colleagues say, that filed the law because they intended the probable consequences of their action to set it aside with a view to giving privilege to a few minority, which is 9, over majority, which is 14 as it is today.
So, Mr. Paul, you heard his view, almost saying that you're asking him and his group to present themselves for inauguration will be tantamount to putting something on nothing.
Thank you very much. I think he made allusion to the fact that I'm a lawyer, just as he is. He's my learned friend. And talking about the law, who interprets the law? The present position of the court is that the governor's proclamation is in order, and any other proclamation they are asking him to do is forbidden, and that the governor should not issue. The Federal High Court has said that. And you know, when a piece of legislation, including the Constitution, is on ground, the tendency for varied interpretations to be given to that legislation is there. Some persons can interpret advantageous to themselves. A mechanic can give his own interpretation. A flight attendant can give. But once the court gives interpretation, it becomes the law. The law is what the court says it is. It is only the court that can read and interpret the mind of the law. The court has said that proclamation was in order. Another proclamation which the National Assembly is asking the governor to carry out should not be done. The governor is even under restraining order for that purpose. So all this in place, are you now going to break the law in the name of the law? The law now is that you should go there, the inauguration, go and get inaugurated and represent your people. I think the real issue here is that members-elect who refuse to go, they have renounced the use of reason. The truth is that they allow their wisdom to be consumed in confidence, and their mind is poisoned by importance. It is ego that is disturbing. But as he said, he's convinced. Conviction cannot come in here. What I see here is neither principle nor tenacity of purpose, but slavery. Any man, anyone born into slavery is to carry out act of slavery to the letter. Because when a man is in bondage, he loses everything, including the desire to be free. This is what is happening. How can you hold tenaciously to a policy, to an
Let me
idea?
jump in and ask you, pardon me, is it true that after the governor had, some people intervened and tried to broker peace between the governor and the former governor? Yes, they had that meeting as we saw on camera, but then the other meetings that were supposed to have happened, the governor was expected to have reached out to the members-elect who have not been inaugurated, and that hasn't happened.
Well, the governor to reach out,
inauguration.
It is not the place of the governor to beg people to come for inauguration. It is choices in action. You choose what you want to do. In any case, when you talk of negotiation,
are two different things, aren't they?
Yes. You said?
Doesn't have to beg by reaching out.
No, when you are talking of reaching out, how? Yes, the doors of the House of Assembly, the doors are open for everyone. Do you remember that amongst these members-elect, two of their members went to the House of Assembly to be inaugurated, even after the initial inauguration? What is stopping the others? Nothing is stopping them. They can go there and be inaugurated, take their oath before the speaker. And can you even fight a system from outside? If you have the desire to change a system, you go in there and you carry out your politics. Politics is the act of the possible and not a battleground of absolutes. How can you hold tenaciously to a thing that is not profitable? You have your own desire antithetical to the desire of your own people. How can that work? How can that work?
Mr. Sfo is
well,
number
let me
one.
just let me.
Could you start from the legal perspective, where he says there's been ruling already? So you're asking them to go back to a status quo will be contrary to what the laws, what the ruling
now
said.
we are challenging what was done in Edo State House High Court. We are challenging what was done. That brazen act of brigandage that happened on the 17th of June. That gave whose conclusion saw minority, having preeminence over majority. We are challenging the midnight rule. We are challenging our willful exclusion because nobody invited us. We were supposed to be invited. We were not invited. We are challenging that. We are challenging the emergence of the speaker. We are challenging everything that happened that night.
Why the two of the group go then, as he said?
Like I said, this is about conviction. This country, even listening to...
He says it's not about conviction, it's about slavery. That's what he says.
That's where I'm going to. Even listening to what Ohombamu Paul, my friend, said, I have reasons to believe that we are where we are today as a country because we have people who cannot stand up for what is right, stand up on the side of justice. You see, the difference between developed and underdeveloped nations is the respect or otherwise for the law, the rule of law. They are not pet animals. But what we do in this country today, as it is leadership and followership problem. People just go there because they want to earn the salaries. Of course, he's the chief spokesperson of the government. I do not expect anything different.
Well, some people will argue that this is just politics. I mean, we can talk about animals and slavery and what have you. This is simply politics, and that you people have been outplayed, and that's basically what has happened. Because if it's about loyalty to parties and to factions and to leaders, you cannot accuse him of being, I don't want to use the same word you use, but you are saying something about pet animal. He used the term slavery. You cannot use, I don't know how to put this now, you cannot accuse him of being the pet animal to the governor when you're also a pet animal somewhere else.
What I meant when I said even pet animals in the bush will be surprised at what we humans will do in the name of leaders, and those who serve the people. Now, who would not really, let's really come to think of it. You may not have been a member of the House of Assembly, or maybe you have not contested any elections, but the roads to the public service are guided by rules. And this is certainly not one of those rules.
But how does this position that you're holding, Honorable, how does this position serve your people? You are elected to serve your people. Right now, you are on the wings, so to speak. You are not serving the people that elected you. Your people in Edo State do not have any representation in Edo State as at this moment. How does that make you feel? And how do you think your people feel about that?
Now, when you talk about my people, maybe what you need to know is that over 12,000 persons voted for me. Those my people, majority of them, voted for me because they trust my character and sense of judgment. And they are with me on this matter. And they are saying that it will amount to nothing when the foundation is not there. What are you going to put that to? Let me tell you the reason why I put up myself to contest. The State Assembly, I want to say, majorly was an embarrassment to the Edo system. How? You follow the story because you are members of the Fourth Estate of the realm. And investigative journalism is part of your training. You follow the system where in this country they voted against the autonomy of the House of Assembly. Whereas as at the time that vote was done, 27 out of the 36 states had voted, meaning that they were in excess of the two-thirds. But they still voted against autonomy of the judiciary, voted against autonomy of the local government, voted against autonomy of themselves. And I asked my friends who were there at that time, I mean, who are you serving? Whose interest are you serving? And I told them this was absolutely wrong for a people who voted against their own autonomy in the name of this was what the governor said, in quote. Now, who does that? My intention to come to government to serve was not to serve my own purpose. It was to challenge those ills that would continue to put the progress of our people in reverse gear. And let me tell you something. There comes a time when there's conflict between what you want to do, the fine things you want to bring, and what the people want. I am not. Listen, I was voted to serve my people.
So what happens?
But majority of my people are with me on this matter.
What happens if your tenure run out and you still do not subject yourself to being sworn in?
Okay, let me also put it this way. What happens if I go in just to be part of the bad bandwagon, and at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense in service? You see, when you put up yourself to serve the people, it is to serve well.
Yeah, but
I've said it, when the foundation is faulty, anything you put on it will crumble.
Mr. Osifo, if the former governor asks yourself and the group to go, present yourself, won't you go?
My dear brother, you just made a fine point. I have communicated to the governor personally. I sent him a message about 3 or 4 days ago. And I told him, you in Edo as the governor, you are a midfielder. You should coordinate the forces together. You know, and as an APC governor, you have a duty to ensure that there is peace, there is love, and there is unity. And use your office to do that. The governor is still standing on what he stood on. He has not called any one of us to say, come on guys, this was not what we voted. People say, just go and present yourself as conquered.
So that is the issue now.
The governor, I said it yesterday, even day before yesterday, when we made our press, that we look, I still appeal to him, and I'm still appealing to him. He should see the need as governor, as the midfielder of the politics of Edo, to see the need to bring this. We were all voted to serve the people. Let's say, come on, young gentlemen, what were the issues? Let's discuss the issues. We tell him these are X, Y, Z. This wasn't supposed to. Okay, so, now this is how we want. How we want it.
So, Mr. Obama Paul, you heard him here. So this, to some people, this looks like the bone of contention now. So, what do you say to that?
Thank you very much. I heard him. He has just said he's still appealing to the governor to call them, to talk to them. I think there's nothing wrong there. But for somebody who wants to serve his people, who wants to change and alter the rot in a system, to be out of that place is logical somersault. Just as you ask, when your tenure runs out, how would you have helped your people? I think even with mixed feelings, if they go to the House of Assembly today and be inaugurated, we'll be happy. Welcome back home, our brothers. Oh, Prodigal. That's just it. So that they go and be inaugurated and represent their people. As for the governor calling them, it's not a big deal. He has said he will continue to appeal. And you are not coercing the governor. You will appeal because the governor has not done anything wrong. He did not tell people to go, stay away and become externally packaged to be in Abuja while your representatives are in the rural Edo area. So you should be with your people. There is even no way that those who voted for my brother will be with him. Because as you want to prepare budget, he ought to be there to put in things from his constituency. Is he there now? How will that favor his people?
But why hasn't, or why is it so difficult for the governor to reach out to them as they are appealing for him to do, as the governor of the state?
The truth of the matter is the governor can reach out. But when you have preponderance of actions, to the contrary, you say governor should reach out, you call press conference, say the governor should do the right thing, when the court has said governor has done the right thing. All these things will push someone to desperate solution. You can't coerce someone. People in bondage cannot negotiate. Only free men negotiate. When you talk of governor...
But we just heard him saying that they are appealing to him and he will always appeal because, look, whether or not the courts have made any pronouncement, he is still the governor and then he's still...
Thank you.
There's still what you people call political solution. How did that happen?
No, I just heard that from him now. I'm happy to hear that. But what I'm saying, any further action to the contrary will negate this he's saying. If you are appealing, then you don't call press conferences and be making, sweeping statements about the governor, about the state. The state is peaceful. The governor will be coordinating well. We just hosted the National Festival of Arts and Culture. All the controllers of immigration have been in Edo State for their conference. Catholic bishops have been in Edo State.
Just give us a moment. We'll come back and listen to both of you just one more time before we close. From the look of things and given what we've just heard, should the people expect that the governor will reach out to the group of 14 and ask them to come over and get sworn in? And if that doesn't happen, primaries will be anytime soon. Do you think the governor will get the party ticket?
Thank you very much. The issue of, let me start from the rear, the primaries. The issue of primaries will be determined by the delegates. the governor has worked in Edo State, and I'm sure the people know this as a fact. When the former governor was going for a second term, it was a straight ticket. No one contested with him. And this ought to be the situation. But because of the objective conditions, we know that many people will rear their heads. Ugly, both the ones who are fit and the unfit ones, they will rear their heads. But by and large, as for reaching to them, you know that the governor is standing on a firm legal and moral ground. The court has, spoken the mind of the law, and the law is with him, so he has the advantage, and you know too, the advantage is a better soldier than rashness. So he will call them, but one thing I must say is that they should stop, bringing out issues that appear to be act of disrespect to the governor. If you say you are appealing in one breath that governor should call you, in another breath going out to say things antithetical to your appeal, then it takes on swallowing. As for, I am shocked, and I will say this, that my brother is not loyal to Comrade Adams Oshomole. Because you ask him a question, if the Comrade Adams Oshomole, our national chair, asks you to go back now, won't you go? And he said no, he will not go. And I don't like that, because if you are loyal to a cause, you must be loyal true and true. So by and large, I want to welcome them back. I want them to come back. We miss feeling, appreciate it, and proclaim in loud voice, oh, our brothers, welcome back home, oh, Prodigal. Thank you very much.
Wow, this is interesting, Mr. Sipo. How do you react to that?
Well, first, maybe he didn't hear me finally. When I mean appeal to the governor, we're appealing to him to do the right thing.
What's the right thing?
The right thing is that he should respect the law. You see, when I try to put it in perspective,
what is the law?
I said he has issued the proclamation.
Okay.
That is exactly what the court talked about. Now, the buck was not passed to the second person, which is the clerk, who should invite. Assuming without considering that he knew nothing about what happened that night, as the leader of the party in the state, and as the governor, who directed through his proclamation to another to carry out an act, and the general complaint was that that act was not finally carried out, what should he have done? Simple thing. No, this was wrong. Put it together. But unfortunately, when we complained, that's what he's talking about, that we should not complain. On the 18th, when we complained through to what happened on the 17th night, in Golden Tulip, we had a press conference. They sent the governor through no better evidence to prove that, other than the fact that his CSO led a group of armed thugs against us. They shot sporadically, injured some of our colleagues, inflicted deep bodily harm on them, and all of that. And that was why the state became a place that was not safe, because he also said, the governor said, that anywhere they find any of us holding meetings against him. So for me, when I say call the people to do the right thing is that as a governor, he has said they have gone to court, but why don't you use political? It makes sense to use political solutions.
All right.
So in political,
I guess we can leave it at that point. Indeed, Mr. Washington Osifo, member-elect of Edo State House of Assembly. We also did speak with Mr. Paul Ohambamu, who is the Commissioner for Information in Edo State as well. Gentlemen, thank you both for coming on today, and we do hope that this is sorted sooner rather than later. Well, there you go. That is the show today. We thank you all for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain. Also,
don't know why it feels like Friday already. But thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments and contributions as well. I'm Mark Yusuf.
And I'm Ayo Makere. Have a beautiful day.